So this is tutorial on how to add rigging for this 3D model of Winston dog right here. And I'm going to show you how I structure the armature bones on this dog, including the whole body and heads, and also including a controllers for these four legs on both front and back. Okay, so first up, you go hover over your mouse to top right corner. It says add, and I'm gonna select the armature. And you see on the bottom, we have an armature bone right here. And when you're putting a bone into this character, you are not able to see the armatures inside of a 3D model. So I'm going to enable in front, and you can see that now when I move the bone, and now you see when I'm trying to move the armature in edit mode, and you can see now the bone is like in front of the 3D model. Now I'm going to select this bone and hold down Shift D to duplicate and bring it to the center of the dog model, and select the tail and press E to extrude and extrude again. And these two small bones is going to be a neck, and this bigger one on the top is going to be a head. And for this one, I'm going to use this as a hip bones. And I'm going to hold down shift and select two bones, and then select this one center right here and Control P, and I'm gonna parent them, keep offset. All right. So I'm gonna duplicate this bone and move it over to this front leg. I'm gonna match it as best as I can, and move the upper, and this is going to be an upper bone. And right now my armature, the head is selected, and I'm gonna extrude. Press E to create the shin bone on the front leg, and this will be an extrude again to make a foot and toes. And I'm going to select all the bones on the front and hold down Shift D to duplicate, and I'm gonna press Y to bring it back to the backbone, this back leg. And I'm using a box selection tool to select the certain bones, and trying to match the bone as possibly can. And I'm selecting the tails and the head of bones, trying to match them as closely as possibly can. And this part is going to be a knee. Okay, now I'm gonna move back to perspective mode, and you can see both front and back leg is on the center. So I'm going to select all the bones, all the front bones and back bones, and I'm holding down Control and right click to lasso select, and press the numpad 1. Then I'm gonna use the G to grab and move to X-axis, and I'm gonna turn on the X-ray mode, and I'm gonna select certain bones, or like a head and tails, to match each bones on the front view for both front and back legs. Okay, so everything seems fine from here. And before parenting and symmetrize the bone, I'm going to name all the bone. I'm going to name it. And this is going to be the front leg, upper front leg dot L, and this one is front bottom leg dot L. But it's really hard to identify which bone you named on. So before naming it, make sure to turn on the name on the armature properties. And now you can see all the name of the bones. And I'm going to start name the rest of the leg bones. And make sure to type the .L just before symmetrizing the armature, these bones. Because without the .L, Blender is not going to mirror the bones. Even if you missed out putting a .L in like a one bone on the left side, Blender is not going to recognize this bone as the left bone. So you have to make sure when you're naming each bones on the left side, you have to include .L before mirror the bones. And if the bones on the center, you don't have to put any .Ls or .R. .R is for the right side, just in case. Okay, so now the naming for front and back leg is finished. Okay, so I'm just making sure changing the names properly to match the upper leg. Okay, so let me move up, and this one is going to control the full body. So I'm gonna change this bone name to the full body control. I'm gonna hit enter. This one is called hips. And the single bone is going to be a spine. And these two bones are going to, I'm gonna call it neck. Just putting a name 001. And what you guys know, the two bones are selected, but only named to one bone. So to set the name for multiple bones, just hold down Control and press F2. And on a type, change to set name. And this is going to name the multiple bones with the proper numbers on it. And the method is going to be a new. And on the top right here, change the object to, let me see, the bones. And I'm gonna name it neck.001. And once I hit OK, and it's going to count the number of neck bones. And you can see the first neck 1 and the neck 2 bones. This one is going to call the head. And the bottom bone, what I left behind, this is going to be a global control. And this one is for like placing the character into different places. And after naming all the bones, I'm gonna hold down Shift and click spine and hips bones. And then lastly, select the full body controls. And after I parent it to the full body control, the whole bone is going to connect it to this control. So now everything is keep offset. And I'm just making sure all the bones are parented to the full body, the spine and hips. And now I'm going to symmetrize both front and back leg bones. So I'm gonna hold down Control and lasso select all the bones on the left side. And once all the bones on the left side is selected, go to the armature and go down and select this symmetrize. And once you click this, and now the front and back bone on the left side is now mirrored to the right side, and you can see all the .L is now changed to the .R. And the top of the head, I'm going to add another extra bones. This one's going to control the ears. And I'm gonna duplicate another one. And this one is for controlling the Winston's mouth. So after I place it here, and I'm going to hold down Shift and select both mouth and ear controls to the head, parent keep offset. And I'm gonna name this ear.l. And I'll call this jaw. So this model also have a tongue, so I'm gonna duplicate the jawbone. And I'm gonna match this and extrude to match the tongue models. And I'm gonna hold down Control and F2 and set the name to let's see. Let's draw well, actually I already have a jawbone, so I'm gonna call this a tongue.001 and hit OK. And now I have a tongue bone, and I'm going to press the front upper leg, both front upper leg, and parent it to spine bone model and keep offset, and select both backbones and parent it to the hips. And of course I have to match the location of the ear bones using a press down G and move the x-axis. But you can see I have to, when I'm rotating, it's not going to rotate the ears in the wrong direction. I'm gonna turn on the axis, and you can see I'm using a roll option right here to just rotate the bone. So I'm gonna fold the ears by rotating a z-axis. I'm gonna select the ear, so it's named .L. Go to armature and symmetrize. And now there's the right ear control. So I'm going to turn off the names so you guys can clearly see the structure of this armature for this character. Before putting an armature on the eye, I have to apply some of the modifiers that I enabled. So I'm gonna press the slash to just focus on this eye model, and it looks pretty okay. But once I go to the edit mode, this object have a mirror modifier, and before adding an armature, we need to move the 3D cursor to the center of this one eyeball on the left side. And I'm looking for where do I move the 3D cursor to the eyeball. Instead of finding, I'm gonna hold down Shift and press S to bring up this pie menu. And on the bottom here, select the cursor to select it. And you can see the cursor is on the center of the eyeball model. This is where the new bone is going to be added when I'm editing the armature inside of edit mode. So right now the 3D cursor is on here, so I'm gonna press Shift A to create new armature, and select the tail here and press E to extrude another bone here, and the top one I'm gonna delete that, and this one is going to be controlling the eyes. So I'm gonna name this to I.L. and parent this to the head bone. Keep offset. I'm gonna turn on the name again. This is set to I.L, and I symmetrized. It's going to be named as I.R. So let's move back and let's see the armature. And looks like everything is good to go. Now, when you're moving a leg, we need a proper controls for legs to actually do the roll when you're doing a walk cycle. So make sure I'm gonna save this, and inside of when change to pose mode and moving the legs, this foot bone is going to rotate it, but is this going to be really hard to control. So instead, I'm just doing this again on the front and the back. It's going to be really difficult to animate. So instead of moving everything hand by hand, I'm going to go back to edit mode, and I'm going to select this front foot. Make sure to select the front foot right here on the left side. And I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to rotate. Okay. Right now this one is parented, so I'm going to clear the parent first, and just making sure that I'm selecting a right bone. Okay, I see the mistakes that I made. So right now on the top, I changed the transport pivot point to individual. I'm gonna change that back to global. And once I start rotating, okay, select it. I'm gonna rotate to x-axis 180 degrees. Now the bone is rotated. I'm gonna change this to front foot roll .L, and this bone is going to control the foot roll for the front one, and I'm going to do the back one also. Cursor to selected on the toe bones, and press Shift A to create new bone. And this one is going to fully control the front foot, and I'll name this front foot control.L, and press numpad 3 to move to the side. And I'll just turn this snap option and change it to grid, and move this down to the bottom right here. I'll select the tail and snap the tail onto the ground like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to parent this foot bone into a foot roll. So I'm going to clear the parent, and while selected, shift select foot roll and make a parent, keep offset inside of pose mode, and I rotate this. So it looks kind of rough now, but this is going to be much better after doing more parenting. And I'm going to select the front bottom leg, and I'm going to use this for the IK control, and come down to this bone constraints menu on the right. While this bottom leg is selected, I'm going to select the inverse kinematics. I'm going to set the chain length to 2, which is connected from upper front leg to the bottom front leg. And We're gonna set the target to armature. Then we're going to select the like a front foot. And now the IK constraint is is set, but there's some issues that I have to kind of figure out. I think this is mostly a parenting issues, but this kind of takes a little bit of time to figure out. So the foot bone is parented to the foot control, the foot roll, which is fine. I'll go to the select the bottom bone and go to the bone properties and go to relations. And here's the mistake that I found, that this foot roll is currently parented to the bottom front leg, which is something which is not supposed to happen. So in edit mode, while foot roll control is selected, I'm going to Alt P and clear the parent. And now when I'm moving a foot roll, now you can see now the IK control is working pretty smoothly. And this one's only going to rotate for x-axis, so I locked every y and z on the transform on the sidebar. So in this case, I don't need to worry about other bones needs to move. So I'm gonna lock the locations also, so we're gonna make it like a full foot control instead. So I'm gonna change to the edit mode. While the foot roll is selected, I'm gonna shift and select toe, and hold down still hold down the shift and select the foot control over here. And I'm going to Control P and keep offset. And once I move this foot control, now the leg is leg control. The leg IK control is working really well. And also the toe, I'm gonna lock the locations so I can let the foot controls to handle everything. Okay. So I'm gonna do the exact same thing for this back leg here. Here is the back foot. I'm gonna clear parent, Shift D to duplicate and press R, and then select the X for x-axis, and I'm gonna rotate it. And for some reason the bone is twisted for the random reason. So here on the sidebar, so already the foot roll is selected. On the sidebar, select the roll and set this to 0. And now the bone is rotated properly, but the y-axis is turned opposite, so I'm gonna set to 180 degrees. Now the back foot roll is matching to the a front leg. So I'm gonna select both and keep offset, and I'm just gonna duplicate the foot control, front foot control, and press Shift D to duplicate and move to back here. I'm gonna set this name to not the foot but back foot control. I'm gonna get rid of the numbers, select the foot roll and toe, then select the foot control and set the parent keep offset like what I just like what I did before. Select the foot roll and lock every locations and rotations except for rotation on x-axis. So there we go. And I'm going to do the exact same steps for adding an IK inverse kinematics on the shin bone, just like what I did before with the front leg. Okay, so the inverse kinematic is set, and now you can see the foot roll works properly, and the toes, and the full back foot control is now you can able to animate the character's bone. And once I select the full body control, you can see you can lower the character like doing a crouch or something. And to rotate the legs, we need a leg pulse in order to rotate both front and back. So I'm gonna select the points here. I'm gonna press E to duplicate the bone. I'm gonna select this one, just changing the size. Now press Alt P to clear parent and move to the back right here. I'm gonna call this front leg pull .L and select the point right here. Press E to duplicate and Alt P to clear parent as well. Move about right here, just changing the location. And I'm gonna name this I'll just call this a leg pull .L. Yeah, I'll just call it a back leg. Okay. Now I'm gonna select this pull and hold down Shift and select the foot control and do the exact same for the back one. Make sure to save. Now select the one bones that have IK control. Yeah, actually I just kind of misspelled the pull, so I'm gonna change the name before we're doing a process. Now select the bone that has an IK control, and I'm gonna use the eyedropper to select the armatures and bones as well. You see the icons right here. Just select this and hover over to the armature, like any bones. We're just selecting an armature as an armature object, and we're gonna select the eyedropper on the bone and select the front leg pull. And now the leg is rotated in a really weird angle, so I'm gonna change the pull angle to it's going to this side. It's going to the negative, maybe negative 90. Okay, there we go. And when I move the leg pull, the leg can able to rotate. So this leg pull is already parented to this foot control, so whenever I'm trying to move the bone around, you can see when the leg pull is kind of close to each other, it's gonna make a really weird kind of freak out. So just make sure the pull to stay a little bit away from the leg as possible, and do the exact same thing for the back here. Select the armature and then pull target on armature and select the back leg pull. I'm gonna set this to 90. And when I move to leg pull, I can tell the IK on the leg pull on this IK bone is working really well. And I almost forgot, but I'm gonna add the tail right around here. And I'm gonna duplicate the jaw and use this as like a rigging for the accessories. And I'll duplicate this one for I'm gonna use this one for referencing the necklace. So this bone is not going to rotate or move around. It's only going to parent it to this neck bone. This one right here. And so I'm gonna clear the parent and then I'm going to keep offset. And I'll call this a neck a necklace, and I'll call this a dog collar, and parent this to here. Okay, so everything's parented in order. And on the right bones, I'm not going to do the like an IK control what I did before. So what I'm going to do is select a lasso select, delete them, and I'm gonna enable this X-ray key to select the bones on the left side, and I'm going to make sure everything has like a dot L, and then go to the armature and resymmetrize. Select this, and now everything is mirrored, symmetrized, a mirror or symmetrized, whatever. And move back to the pose mode. I'm going to select the full body control, and all the IK bones are working properly. Oops, I forgot to parent the neck to the spine bone. So I'll do this in the edit mode. And instead of keep offset, I'm gonna connect. So you can see the bones now connected to the next. And I'm not gonna move this one, including the hip bones. Make sure to select, make sure to save, and there you go. The foot, the leg controls, and the full body, this neck bones, this neck controls, whatever. And this collar is not going to do anything. These necklace accessories is only going to do rotations. Make sure to check the controllers again. And for the eyes, instead of just moving them one by one, I'm going to apply the target constraints for these both eyes, so you can able to animate the eyes much easier. So I'll select both, and I'm going to select the bottom one, the cursor to select, and go to edit mode, and I'm going to Shift A, creating a new controller here, new bone. I'll shrink this down, and I'll just move the bone, this new bone, right around here, and I'm going to call this a eye control. And I'm going to duplicate this both eyes and bring it front right at the eye controls. I'm gonna name this one as eyetrack.l, and also do the exact same thing for the right one. Shift select both eye tracks and select the eye controls lastly, and make parent with the keep offset and parent the eye control to the head. So after select the eye, one of the eyes, and I'm going to select the track to. I'm going to track this eye to the eye track bone and select the armature, and I'm going to select the bone to the eye track. And now the eye direction is a little off, but you can tell this eye bone is like tracked to this eye track. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to change the track axis from -C to Y. And I'm gonna set back to the world space. I'm trying to figuring out how to fix this track constraint. I haven't done a lot of rigging for a while, so just refreshing my mind. Let me okay. Okay. So what I did is I set the track axis to the Y and set the up to the Z axis. So now you can tell this eye is now tracked to this just set to the world space. Now you can see the eye is now tracked to this eye track bone, and do the exact same thing for the right one. I can symmetrize it, but I'm just doing this for like refreshing the mind. Okay. Set this to Z, and now the this track constraint is set. Same thing for the left eyes. So, turn off the X-ray mode. And when I start moving the eye control, now the eyes are starting to rotate. So in this case, you can able to animate the eyes all together, or you can just select the one eye track to do individually. And last but not least, I'm gonna select the controls. I'm gonna select these foot controls. And then I'm going to select this global control and keep offset. And do the exact same thing for full body control to the global control bone. Make sure to name this one tail and keep offset parented to the hips. I'm going to save it. And here is the armature. This is a global control, is now parented everything. This full body control. So all the IK bones are now working well. And this armature for the Winston dog is ready to go. Just making sure all the bones are working properly. So there we go. Just making sure all the bones are working well. And there you go. Alright, so this is it for the part 1 of armature rigging tutorial. And for the part 2, I'm going to start doing weight painting. I'm gonna weight paint the Winston and add some extra features to it. So make sure to turn off the name. And okay. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.